journey of a season shows ups and downs. It's what takes place when you're down that determines what kind of man you are. As the sun rises upon the big three at the Big E, many drivers' quest to be king started very early. It's go time for these drivers, and what has went right for some and wrong for many. Tonight, these drivers get to rewrite the script from the lows. Who shows scars, wounds from battles? Who here needs to rewrite their script?
Grass Kaiser goes upside down. Ellie slams forward into the wall. And we have absolute carnage on the front stretch. Walkman goes up in the air, end over end. And after this track on the backstretch, several of these cars are going home.
It's time to rewrite the script. The time has finally come. The fourth king will be crowned tonight as we go racing in Millertime Motorsports once again. This is the Kings of Millertime. The fourth awaits. I'm Ryan Griffith. I got Byron Gay and I've got Chris Miller. How are you guys doing? It has been a while since the last king, and now we're back for the fourth king awaits. You guys ready?
I mean, since I missed the racing earlier today, didn't get to watch any of it. I'm actually super excited. Hearing how the guys finished in the race of champions, I'm excited to see what they are bringing to the table tonight when there's a lot more online with a lot more cars.
Yep. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, last night, we've seen some great racing there with Sean Stevens coming out on top, and then in the Millertime Race of Champions today, Ryan Avila kind of run away with it after we went to a single file restart. That track was a little bit ran down still from last night, and it was dry, and it was hot out there this afternoon, but it looks like it's cooled down a little bit for this evening, and we should have a good racing surface for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Track was a lot different, and so maybe just a little bit different tonight, especially whenever we start getting longer runs at this race. And hopefully we might see a long run like we seen the night before, where lap traffic was starting to come into play. And if lap traffic does come into play, it'll be very, very interesting to see how that works out, how it plays out towards the end of the race. But with the race champions, we've seen a groove that was on the top side, and pretty much that was it. You could not get down to the bottom to really get anything. We've seen two cars that was sliders back and forth, back and forth. No one could really get ahead. What do you guys feel like in that race that was a key moment for some of the drivers throughout the race? Was it the fact that you needed to make attack really early, or was it just a matter of where you started in that race?
Well, when you get a track that's absolutely dominated by the top slide, you have to be on the attack early and get up there as fast as possible. And the guys that were able to do that, obviously they made the right choice being aggressive early just to be able to get to the front of the field. And we saw Ryan take that win there earlier today, I should say.
Yeah, Ryan, it was definitely important to make that move early. I mean, Ryan Avila showed that he came from seventh to the front, and he made those moves in the first few laps, and I think he even mentioned that in his driver interview at the end of the race. So it was important to make that move early. You actually see the guys that started up front, a lot of them finished towards the rear of the field anyway, but that track, it was like driving on ice for those drivers out there, and the drivers were actually complaining during one of the cautions to go to single file, but just because down on the bottom it was so hard for the cars to even keep it down on the bottom, they're afraid they were just going to cause more wrecks. We had actually talked in the drivers meeting about keeping that double file all day, but with the early cautions and then all the drivers wanting to go to single file, the officials made the decision to go ahead and make that single file.
Yeah, so let me ask you guys, when we watched that champion race there, We seen the guys that was really good, and then we seen the guys that fell off. And those guys that fell off was actually up front. Brandon Foyles, some good names like Brandon Foyles is one of the Kings of Millertime. Are we going to see kind of the repeat coming into tonight? Will Brandon Foyles find his way and go forward, or are we going to see the Ryan Avila being up front, the Clayton Tilley being up front? What do you guys think on that?
I think it's difficult to really say because I mean, when you look at what we had track conditions wise earlier, we were looking at, a pre-generated track where it was hot, the track was dry, it was very dusty, there was no bottom side. It's supposed to be cooled off for tonight. So I think whatever adjustments they made earlier today may not work tonight and the Kings of Miller time, just for the fact of we're looking at another new track situation where we don't know exactly where the track temperature is going to be, where, the humidity is going to be, how much of that's going to play into the wear of the track.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on where we see the guys come out of the heat races. It's going to be kind of important. The fast guys are going to get inverted back three. It's kind of hard sometimes out here at Eldora to pass, especially when the track's in good condition, and it's just a fast track at that point. So it's going to kind of depend on where you start. I mean, Sean Stevens last night, believe he started second, maybe. I'm not sure there, but he ended up jumping out to that lead fairly early, and then just nobody could catch him. Ryan Avila today, he made that move, but we had a couple early cautions there, and he was up front. And once he got from seventh to second, after I think the first or second caution, he just ran away with it there. He was on the outside on that restart.
Absolutely. And so we talk about these past kings because it's very important to look at what has happened in the past. And we go all the way back to the first king, and that first king was Brandon Foyles. That's why I mentioned his name, is because he's been a king before. He went backwards in the race of champions. Can he do a repeat? And that is the question that we may have. Let's take a look at this history 101 in the Kings of Millertime. And there you see Brandon Foyles there got that victory at Volusia Speedway. It was only a 30 lapper. That was the one Kings of Millertime where it wasn't a distance race there. It was only 30 laps, 8 cautions in that. And you look at who finished second there, Randy Shreves. He could be a contender. I mean, he went back in the race of champions, but you can't count him out. Jason Randolph, Ben Wart, Brandon Surratt. He'll be in tonight's show. 6th was Troy Flaro. 7th was Jeff Flaro. Jeff Flaro, very good at Eldora Speedway. We did not see too much out of him there in the race of champions, but when money comes along, especially with this much money, they may show up. Then you look at the second Kings of Millertime, and that one was at Knoxville. We went 50 laps there, so we bumped her up. And as a result, your winner on that one, Troy Flaro, was the second king. Brian Johnson finished in second. Third was PJ Popham. Fourth was Randy Shreves. There you go. You got another Randy Shreves inside the top 5. Chris Sine was in 5th. Zach Dykstra in that 6th position. And I think Zach Dykstra may be one to keep an eye on tonight. He did fairly well there in the race of champions, so keep an eye on him. Brandon Surratt in 7th. There you see him inside the top 10 in both of these events. So out of those two races, the first Kings and the second Kings of Millertime, before we talk about the third Kings of Millertime, looking at Brandon Foyles, do you guys feel that he could do a repeat tonight?
Honestly, no, I don't think so. Because I mean, you look at the first two Kings of Millertime. Yeah, he won the first one. The second one, he didn't finish in the top 10. So what happened between the 30 lap race to the 50 lap race? I mean, obviously, you have it there. He did come back, at Weed Sport. I don't think Brandon Foyles has necessarily the long distance pace to stay up front the entire time.
Okay, Chris?
Definitely would agree with the long distance pace there, Byron. I mean, today was 40 laps. It was on a very slick track. But I mean, he started on the pole. You thought maybe he could get a chance right there at the beginning to jump out to the lead and kind of run away with it. And, Eldora is not Volusia. And we know Brandon's very good at Volusia. So, no, I don't think he can win this based off of the race of champions race today. I mean, he fell right to the back pretty quick. But maybe he just had the wrong set. Maybe he'll hit it tonight. I mean, any of these guys in this league have the potential to win at any time. They're all pretty good.
Okay, let me ask you about the second king there, as you've seen Zach Dykstra. Zach Dykstra's best finish in the Kings of Millertime is right there in the second king at Knoxville in that sixth position. Do you guys feel that Zach Dykstra will finish better than sixth place?
I truly think anything's possible with Zach. I think Destiny is in his own hands tonight. Because I mean, he's a fast driver. He's very clean, and when it comes to Eldora, he is very good around the top around here. I'm curious to see, how the track will wear in, and especially once we get to the point to where if you're on the top, your right rear's in that wall, or you're bouncing off of it. It'll be interesting to see where drivers go, and I think Zach could be one of those guys that does move around quite a bit tonight and find some drive off the bottom or the middle late in this race.
Yeah, I could definitely see Zach finishing there, ahead of sixth place. I mean, today he finished third in the race of champions. So again, another slick track that the track was worn down. I mean, by the end of this race, after 50 laps, no track reset tonight. So I mean, we're going to let it go all night long. It's going to be pretty slick by the end there too, and showing that he finished third. I think he's got a really good shot at finishing in the top five for sure. So, and it maybe even coming home king. What's going to be the key is Zach sometimes gets aggressive, and he's going to want this money, and he's going to want this king, the crown. And you never know. You got to keep it out of trouble. That's for sure.
Okay, and then you talk about the third king, and that's our most recent king, and that was Clayton Tilley that picked up that win. And that was at Weed Sport. Clayton Tilley got the win over Alex Bergeron. Aiden Berlin was in third. Brandon Voiles in the fourth spot, which I think right there says that Brandon Voiles kind of shows up when it comes to these big money races, especially the Kings race, because to put yourself in the fourth position behind Clayton Tilley, Alex Bergeron, and Aiden Berlin, fantastic drivers, and put yourself in that fourth position ahead of Ryan Avila there in the fifth position. I think that may say something about him, and I'm interested to see if Brandon Voiles does show up tonight. Ryan Avila in that fifth position, he's going to be one to definitely keep an eye on. As we said, he won earlier in the day and seems to get his stuff together. Eric Tupper there in the sixth position, and then Zach Dykstra there inside the top 10. So looking at Clayton Tilley, can Clayton Tilley repeat tonight like he did? He was pretty much dominant there at Weed Sport. He was out front and he led a lot of this race. Do you guys feel that he is going to be up front and leading the majority of this race?
I don't want to take anything away from, Tilley's ability to drive here, but in my opinion, I think he's probably bringing one of the best teams with him in Speed Shop 51. They got a lot of good drivers that can be up there in the front. I do see Tilley up there in the front, but I think he's going to bring a lot of his guys with him up front to that fight up front.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Byron. I mean, Speed Shop 51's been tough all season. I think they've captured maybe 7 or 8 of the victories out of the entire season. So, I mean, I believe Clayton can definitely run up there. I mean, today he was up there in fourth place, I think is where he finished last night. Again, he came right up to the front. So I think he's definitely going to be battling up there with the leaders. Is he a guaranteed victory? No. Is he going to dominate it? I don't believe he's going to dominate it neither. But again, it's going to come out of qualifying in the heat races.
Okay. So now that the Kings is here, we talk about money, and that money is $1,100 pot on the line for the Kings of Millertime. The fourth one awaits. Talking money, it's interesting what really happens to different drivers, and that's why I mentioned Brandon Voiles earlier, was the fact that when money was on the line for his first race of the Kings of Millertime, he won it. And when he won it, that was his very first win in Millertime Motorsports, period. And then we look forward to Troy Flero. He won, and his very first win came here at the Kings of Millertime. So money is on the line. It's $300-400. I don't have the graph up in front of me, but the money. Do you feel that we have a new first time winner in Miller Time Motorsports win the Kings of Miller Time this time?
No, I do not think so. I think you're going to see not necessarily like a repeat Kings of Miller Time winner, but it's going to be somebody that has won already in this, in our league before. I mean, you got guys like Clayton Tilley, Kenny Hoffman, Ryan Avila, big names that have came out here and have gotten wins this season that could easily win tonight.
Yeah, I would say new king, yes. But new winner in Miller time, no.
All right. So you guys are both kind of hinting that there's not going to be a repeat one. So maybe taking some hints there whenever we go back to the picks that you guys haven't picked Clayton Tilley, I would imagine, or Brandon Voiles or Troy Flair, which Troy Flair's not in this. So there's only two that you could pick for this. But all right. So talking about the Kings of Miller Time at Eldora Speedway, I want to talk about this place. And why is this place such a special place for you, Chris? Let's start with you.
Well, I mean, growing up, our dad, Steve and I's dad, took us to Ellador a lot, and we used to go there and watch all the Kings Royals. As a group of guys, we all got together this last summer. Well, 2 summers ago, Ryan, Steve, and I got together, and that was cool to meet up for the first time. And then this last season, when we went and we camped all, for 4 days and went for the whole entire weekend, and it was a good group of us, and a lot of guys from the league joined up. I mean, what a special place! And that weekend, we all decided on what we were doing for this season, and we enjoyed that weekend so much, we thought we could really make a neat weekend out of it for our 360 Outlaws, and then it has been. This has been the top weekend at Miller Time ever.
All right. How about you, Byron?
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about places that, where dirt tracks mainly where we have grown up, Lima Land is one of those that, I always got a chance to go to, but it always seemed like we always ended up at Eldora a lot of the time for Baltus Classic, the Johnny Appleseed Classics. And when I got out there for sprint cars, I'm like, this is a really cool place. And then, we get the invite, hey, we're going out there next year for the Kings Royal. You in? Fortunately, I only made it for the 2 days, but it was probably the two best days of my life to be out there with a great group of friends, great group of guys to be around. And there's no place else that I'd rather call home when it comes to a dirt track.
All right. Well, I tell you for sure, I want to go back to the summer there and what we did during the summer there at Eldora Speedway. And I want to talk about what your favorite moment was and when was it, what day it was. I'm going to go first with this, and I'm going to say the funnest part of the whole thing had to be the very last night. The race is over. We go down to the pits and we get tons of autographs. We just go around walking, and it was just fun. It was a good time. That was the funnest time. The most memorable time was seeing Steve laying outside every single night, even in the rain, sleeping. That was memorable for me. What about you, Byron?
You mentioned the fact of Steve laying out there. He was under an awning. He wasn't getting truly rained on. I'm going to say this. I think the other guys, in terms of Josh and Larry, they're probably most memorable was me laying on top of my car, showing off when they were pulling in the camper,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you can't deny that one. I don't remember a lot of my first night. I think probably the most memorable thing I had of that night was Steve going, here, have another beer. Um, but definitely getting down there in the pits and then watching Chris and Steve roll down the banking in turn
Uh,
4, and then we had our tire race afterwards since we decided to take a right rear and a left rear tire.
you say that, and I totally forgot about that, but I do have video footage of that moment, but I don't have it here, unfortunately. I will post that, though, on Dirt Eye TV and also on Miller Time Motorsports, because I totally forgot about that. I think Larry sent me all the information or all the video footage on that, but yeah, we've got some really good stuff. I'm going to have to put that together and rehash that up. What about you, Chris?
Well, I mean, Byron mentioned us rolling down the embankment there, and I'll tell you what, that sucked because I ended up finishing my golfing season right then and there. I broke some ribs, and I was done with that one. So that was a bad move on my part, but that night was definitely the best night that we had. I mean, that was awesome. Going, you already mentioned it, Ryan, but going down there in the pits, I had had one too many, and it nothing stopped me. I just went right up to every single driver. We went up to Steve Vogelson's brother, and it was just so cool to meet all the drivers and get all the pictures that we did. You guys holding your Tim Sims checks from winning the Tim Sims driving thing up there at the grandstands. That was pretty cool. But I mean, the most memorable thing was just meeting all the people that we met that raced with us at Miller Time, and then we had been recruited Ty Shobalak in here. So I mean, it was great to meet all them guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally forgot about Tim Sims. I don't know how I did, but yeah, there was just so many points of that weekend that was memorable. Things that was new for me. I mean, I'd never done that Tim Sims, never operated one of those wheels, and I got kind of spoiled. Came back here and was on my Logitech, and I was like, man, this thing's junk. And to tell you the truth, I really haven't raced a whole lot since that moment. It was like I got spoiled from that wheel, and yeah, I haven't really done it. But then there was so many firsts for Larry and Berkey. Just being at the track, just seeing the things is pretty cool experience there, and one that we hope to continue on in the future for sure. All right, let's move on to driver talks. And we've got two drivers standing by right now. And I want to talk to them because they may have the key to success tonight. One is Kenny Hoffman. He had the keys to success not once, not twice, but three times at winning this season and winning the points series. So he's coming in with some kind of a momentum. He struggled at the night before. He kind of fell off a little bit, but I'm interested to hear from him. And then also the other guy that we've got is Ryan Avila. He won the Race of Champions today and looked very dominant. So I got to talk to him earlier. I know you guys didn't get to talk to him, so it gives you guys the opportunity to kind of ask some questions about Ryan Avila. And so let's get these guys in here. I want to ask you, who do you want first? Do you want Hoffman or do you want Avila?
I'll leave that one up to Chris.
All right, let's go with the season champion.
Season champion. We're going to put Kenny Hoffman in here. Kenny Hoffman, do you got a copy?
Yep, I got you, bud.
All right, so there's Kenny. And we wanted to bring you on the show for one, because you're the points winner of this season, getting a little extra money in your pocket. But also, you won 3 races this season, and you've got some kind of experience at winning. What do you think your chances are tonight here at Eldora when last night, for the night before, you slipped back just a little bit?
I still feel very confident with the position I'm in this team. Just the way that we have each other's back. Couple few driver mistakes were just taken on that Saturday night race, and once we were slipping back a little bit, I just could feel what I did wrong, and that's when we just started to hang on for dear life there at the end. But I still feel very confident, especially like I said, the way this team works together, and we have experienced drivers with this race, in Clayton Tilley, and I know Ryan ran last year for this too. But you know, I just think that Tilley is just he's too smart for us, and he helps us out a lot. So I think we'll be fairly good. I'm pretty sure the race is 50 laps, so the track will be slick, and that's usually when we seem to succeed, is when the track gets pretty dead.
I talked to Ryan earlier today about races like this that has money on the line, and I want to know, where is Hoffman inside that car? Is he nervous or is he calm, cool, collected throughout that 50-lap race?
I feel like I'm more on the calm side. It's just don't really think about what the big prize is. I mean, you wanna focus on hitting your marks, and just focus really on you. Car positioning and what other people are doing around you, and other stuff like that. If you can't finish a race, then you're not gonna be able to get that money at the end. So it's just very important just to settle in and focus on what you're doing more than the bigger picture.
Sure. All right, Byron, Chris, I know you got several things for him. You guys watched him race all season long. Byron, what do you got for Hoffman?
Okay, we see you be dominant in this car. Honestly, what do you do during a race to be so dominant? Are you listening to music? Are you talking to the guys, talking about changes that you can make with the wing? What's going on?
Uh, we're usually all just sitting here laughing and having a good time in Discord. We're all just very calm and cool with each other, and especially with me, it's just um, I kind of base everything. I've had a very fortunate past couple of months across the sim. Just finding more and more speed in every other leagues. I was able to lock myself into the Pro Series this year. So it's just when you just learn the car and what it does, and you start getting better at learning the tracks and all that, you kind of have a feel for like what's going on, and it's just that's also just a huge like team effort with everybody. But just taking it race by race, focus on yourself, hitting your marks, and usually everybody's usually very calm, including myself, and just like to go out there and rip.
Now, in terms of like, earlier to today to tonight's race, are you going to see yourself making a lot of changes to that car going into qual or hot laps here tonight, or do you think you're going to let it alone, see what's going on from there, and then decide what you want to do?
We'll just probably take it the way the track looks. Honestly, I know, you know, longer race, so there's no point of setting up for the first 20 laps, 30 laps, and you're quick then you just fall apart there at the end. So we're definitely gonna take that um, strategy in the mind, and just hopefully we also got to play the fuel game with that race later too. So everything should be we should be pretty good shape for later. Just make sure that we just stay smart, and if we don't have speed at the beginning, we'll probably have speed toward the end of that race tonight.
All right, Chris, what do you got?
Well, Kenny, first of all, congratulations on the Pro Series and becoming the seventh champion of the Miller Time Motorsports Outlaw Series. So, and it's your first one, but it's your first season in. So, my question to you is when you joined the season and you seen the group of guys that were in this league, did you have the expectation of coming out champion this season, or what did you want to come out and what did you think would happen?
Um, I don't think having the expectation of being a champion of a league is always a good mind state for yourself. I seem to have a tendency of being a pretty good point racer. So sometimes you gotta play around, play with the points, and not overachieve everything. To be completely honest with you guys, I did not think I was gonna be anywhere near the top of the point, especially after I don't know if you guys remember week one of Port Royal. I actually found myself getting contied there. So
Sure.
um,
Yes.
yeah. So after that, that was kind of a I don't know, that kind of screws with your mind a little bit when you're looking to win the championship. But we just kept the head held high after that, able to find just more and more speed every week, and came away with 3 wins. Probably could have had four, going back to Lernerville when we got passed by Whitnell on the last lap there, going into turn three. But um, just being able to put yourself in those good positions to sit there and win those races, and not letting it get to your head too much, and just staying confident with what you do. That's really just a huge part of everything when it comes to league racing in general. And I'm just really thankful just to be here and say I was a champion of this league. I know this league's got history, and really thankful to be invited to this league, and just thankful for everybody that helps me, all the teammates, and um, yeah.
Another thing, it looks like, I believe if I calculated it right, I think you've won $130 so far this weekend. You didn't make it out this afternoon for this afternoon's race, so you probably could have capitalized maybe on a little bit more money there. But Do you think there's a certain spot that you have to start tonight in this feature? What position do you have to start to collect that $300?
Um, if I mean, you want to be more toward the front, I would say, but it really just depends what the track is. I mean, if you, I'm not really sure how you guys do the track for this race, my first time being, but if the track starts a little bit hooked up or something, and you start back, you want to, make sure you can make those passes early, but then also you don't want to overdo it because you don't want to wreck out and not be there at the end. So, um, I would say, I mean, anywhere in the top 10, maybe. As long as you can just run those consistent laps, and especially with those as long of a race as it is, um, anybody can, mess up, get in the wall, lose their momentum, anything like that. So, um, see, ideally maybe top 10, especially with it being 50 lap race, but we'll see how everything plays out.
Yeah, we definitely will. We'll see how that shakes out. Well, I just want to say again, congratulations on the season 7 championship. Good luck tonight. I mean, King Kenny sounds pretty good, so maybe you can go out there and get crowned king, the fourth king.
Yep, that would be pretty sweet, but like I said, we'll take it one lap at a time, one corner at a time, one car at a time, and we'll see where we are at the end. Just real quick, just gotta thank you guys for inviting me in the league, and thanks for putting on the broadcast for us this weekend. And then thanks to everybody over at Moram Sim Sports, Beach Up 51, Trackside Collective, Tiltec Racing Products, Everything Dirt, Verdict Closing, CT Designs, and CD Cinematography for everything they do for all of us.
Thanks for being on the show with us, Kenny. Good luck tonight in the 4th running of the Kings of Millertime.
Yep, thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, your next guy up, Ryan Avila. We'll talk to Ryan. Ryan, you got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on?
How are we doing? You've had some time to kind of soak in the win from earlier today. I got to ask, after that win, how much time have you spent on the sim from the moment you won till right now?
I'm not gonna lie, I took a nap. I was pretty tired. Just yeah, not too much practice, but over these 2 days and a lot of pro practice for Monday, I think we'll be pretty fine for tonight.
Okay, so how are you going to do it? You've won already earlier today. How are you going to do it tonight? What matters the most to you? Going out and qualifying or how you finish in your heat race?
I'd say it's a mix of both. I'm not usually known for my qualifying laps, usually towards the back of the pack, so definitely gonna have to step that up tonight. And then your heat, you just got to go along with it. So definitely a top front row starting spot for the Heat would be pretty nice.
We talked earlier about the pressures that is on with money races, and you said that you're new to the sim. How long have you actually been on the iRacing sim?
Um, Let me find it. Just over 10 months. So
10
coming here
months.
in January will be 11 months. Yeah.
To me, I think that's absolutely incredible that he has came from 10 months ago and now he's a pro driver in iRacing. Kudos to you. Congratulations on that pro status. I got to ask, okay, iRacing 10 months ago, what before that? What has set you up to be so good on the sim?
I've always been a gaming kid, just as I would assume every other teen coming up that wants to do racing. Um, Got a PS4 sitting here, and I used to play it for almost every day. The series, Formula One series for, the gaming. Man, I don't know how many days I played that, but I've always wanted to do driving, racing, whatever, like something involving just, the thrill of that race. And yeah, I don't know that's what sparked it all. I think my mom and dad have helped me just start and keep getting better and better. And now I could say we made it to the biggest stage that
But
I want to do personally.
I think that's interesting that you played video games before and then you found success here at iRacing and kudos to you. But the same people has done that. Like Chris, I mean, you did NASCAR and everything. I mean, but I mean, you stink on the sim.
I do, but I don't know. I don't spend a whole lot of time racing. I do a lot of this.
The admin and stuff.
Yes.
All right, Byron, what do you got for Ryan?
No, it's kind of funny that you said you played the Formula One games because I mean that's kind of how I got started into sim racing. I got my first wheel. I started doing the F1 games. So the real question becomes: any superstitions that you have before a race that you got to do?
Um, I gotta get me a Gatorade or like a water. I gotta, get something going in me. And just, prepare for what's to come. You never know when you hop in that race car what's gonna happen. So, just like this morning, it was 9 a.m. I was very tired, so I didn't expect the best, but I knew I had something in the car. So, yeah, it's just you just gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Now, I kind of want to start some drama over there in Momentum Sim Sports. Who's the best driver?
Definitely say it's a mix of all of us. You can never choose one because you never have favorites, or we all have some sort of talent that we can definitely put on the racetrack. As Tilly's won one of the King races, and he's made Pro Series before, and now all seven of us, have made Pro again. So, for the first time. So, yeah, I think all of us we have something to put out there.
Yeah, I mean Ross is just wrecking people. I mean,
Mhm.
coming into tonight, we talk about the track states being completely different. Um, you know, I think your first step has to be making that feature. So, I mean, where are you thinking you're going to start tonight? I mean, you thinking outside top 10, inside top 10? What's the game plan for the whole feature? Kind of sit back. What are we thinking tonight?
I do want to make moves early, as it's 50 laps. Yes, you kind of want to just play your cards right and wait. But definitely if you're outside the top 10, you want to start getting moving because once it goes to the top, it's just a train up there. So if it is double fall restarts, it's gonna suck if you're on the bottom. Yes, the bottom does have better restarts sometimes when you can throw sliders into one. But especially with Eldora, how it's just a momentum track. So if you get the exit of two right, you're always gonna get past. So you got to make your moves, pretty early in the race.
All right, Chris, what do you got?
So Ryan, I think I added it up right. So far, you've cashed in on $200 this weekend, and this first place prize being $300. So you could cash in for $500 or more if you take the hard charger or the quick time tonight. That's a pretty good payday. Would that happen to be your best payday on the sim yet?
I believe so. Yeah, I haven't done much money races. About with like the leagues and with the pro qualifiers just a couple of months ago. We did a lot of money races just to get like prepared. So won a couple of dollars there and could make some big money this weekend.
So you ended up finishing second place in the points. You were second place in the Rookie of the Year points with just Kenny Hoffman edging you out there. Today, congratulations on taking first place in our first Miller Time Race of Champions, coming from seventh. So Byron kind of mentioned it. How far back can you come? Do you have to make your move quick? Last night you actually came from 10th, I think, to fourth to earn the hard charger also. So you've shown that you've been able to move through the field. But last night you were also in the B main. Tonight we'll have four heats, which will put us at 13 drivers, or the 13th starting position for the winner of the B main, which you won last night. Do you think it's possible that our winner could come out of the B main if they were in an incident, maybe in the heat race, and come from that 13th or further back starting spot?
Yeah, most definitely. I've always been like known to come from the back or like to be main. Um, I just like it goes all the way back to qualifying and the start of hot laps. So you got to put a pretty good lap down just to be in the top five to set you up for your heat. Um, I don't know. Maybe I can unfortunately go to the B main and hopefully come out with a top five in the feature.
Well, I just want to say good luck, and it's been a great year for you. And I know you're definitely the youngest driver we have in our league, and it would be pretty cool to crown you king. And it'd be awful tough to probably ever get that beat by a younger driver. So, congratulations on a great season, and good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, what's so great about that is that we've had younger drivers like him before, and just his respect and how he drives out there. You wouldn't expect him to be the age that he is. But I do have to say this. When I first started broadcasting you, especially this weekend, I about just laughed out loud at this helmet and the SpongeBob. And what is with the SpongeBob helmet?
This started, I want to say about a month ago, as like the second to last pro qualifier race. I put it on, or it was about Halloween time, and I have a Star Wars suit as well. So, I put this on, and everyone in the team, that's what they know me by. Quick with the SpongeBob helmet is what is around there. So, yeah, I like it. You can't see it when you're driving, but on the broadcast, I think it looks pretty cool.
Oh, and you see it stands out like a sore thumb. You see all the other ones, it seems like normal helmets, and then you got SpongeBob flying around the track here at Eldora Speedway, so it's pretty cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan. Good luck tonight. Let's see if you can go after this big payday and make it your winningest race weekend to date with iRacing with Millertime Motorsports. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Oh boy, we're getting closer to the Kings of Millertime. The pressure is starting to rise on some of these drivers. I know it is for Ryan because I talked to him earlier today, and he said that he does still get nervous. He's only been on the sim for 10 months, and he gets nervous, and rightfully so when there's this much money on the table, and he's never won this much money on a weekend. And being crowned king, well, there's several drivers that's been trying to be crowned king and just have not been able to get it done. Let's go into the crypto picks and let's see, who are you guys picking here? Man, there is so many good drivers. There's so many drivers that has won their first race in the Kings of Millertime race. So I'm interested to know who you guys are picking. Let's start with you, Chris.
Well, I'll tell you what, he raced his heart out last night. He ended up winning his way into the Millertime Race of Champions. He was fifth in that today. He's got the 27th pill and has cashed $45 so far this weekend. I'm going to take Sean Stevens for third place.
Sean Stevens, we've seen him win the night before. He was up front, he stayed clean, and he was able to win. I think Sean Stevens will definitely be inside the top 5 if he can stay clean throughout the entirety of the race. Byron, what do you got?
Well, I decided to take a driver that we actually just talked to. Shares the same number as I do. Rocking with, points champion Kenny Hoffman tonight in the third spot.
Kenny Hoffman. Interesting that you take Kenny Hoffman. After seeing what he did last night, he fell off. I'm wondering if that fall off is going to continue tonight. So, I don't know about Kenny Hoffman tonight. But you got him 3. We shall see. Who do I got as number 3 tonight?
I think you probably went Sean Stevens here.
Chris.
I'm going to say, I think you went Tilly.
Okay. Number 3 tonight, I am picking Clayton Tilley. You're correct, Chris, on that one. Clayton Tilley, I think he's going to finish 3rd. I just don't think he's going to have it over 50 laps for these other 2 drivers. I think they're going to be faster than him, and that's crazy for me to say because I think Clayton Tilley and his teammates even said it, that this guy's good. He's really smart, he's clever, and he's going to play it smart tonight, but I'm putting him in the 3rd position tonight. Chris, number 2 pick.
No, I think you're probably right. I think there's only going to be one driver faster than him. Clayton Tilley's going to get second. He was quick time last night with a 13.243. I don't know if that'll be beat tonight or not. But he was 3rd last night. He was 4th this afternoon. He's got the 22nd fill draw. He's already cashed in on $125 this weekend, so that's pretty good for him.
All right. Clayton Tilley putting him in the number 2 spot. He says whenever money talks, he shows up. So we'll see. Byron, what do you got? Number 2.
You know what? I thought Chris was onto something with his 3rd pick. With the way he spoke about Sean Stevens. The dude got it done last night. Was absolutely class act up there up front. He started third this afternoon, only fell to fourth. He's going to run in the top 3. He's going to be second here. Sean Stevens, second tonight.
All right, Sean Stevens, second. I think it's funny because yesterday when we was making picks, Sean Stevens wasn't even on anybody's radar inside the top 3. He wins last night, and all of a sudden, we're picking Sean Stevens here inside the top 3. It may end up sending him bad luck. I don't know. But who do I have as my number 2 pick here?
I think you have Ryan Avila.
I think you're going Tyler Stroop.
Number 2, I'm going the same as Byron here. I'm going Sean Stevens to finish second. He's searching so hard to be crowned king, but he'll come up short tonight by 1 driver. Unfortunate for him, he'll have to wait another King's race to get his title. Chris, who do you pick tonight to win the 4th running of the Kings of Millertime?
Well, I'll tell you what, we just talked to him, and he's going to become the youngest king that we've ever had. And he's going to take home that $500 total prize since he's already got $200 this weekend. Ryan Avila's going to take this home.
Oh,
He's going to be crowned 4th king.
You're making him even more nervous before the race even
I know
starts. Put him in that number 1 spot. Ah, wow. Chris?
He's going to show his boss there in second.
Chris, I think it's a great pick. He just showed it today that he could do it. He might be onto something there. Byron, I'm interested to see who you have here in the number 1 spot.
You know, I felt betrayed after the past week. I messaged a driver that I consider, I look up to him. I think he's a great guy. He gets back to me. Yeah, pick me to win on Saturday. I'll be there. I'll win it on Saturday. Where were you, Wreck-It Ross? Come on. I had you winning it, and you don't even show up.
So you're not picking me?
I'm not going with Wreck-It Ross. It's going to be a 2-time king. Wait until he gets it done. Tonight, the boss is going to show Momentum Simsport how to rip the lip at Eldora.
Whoa! Shade to Ross Kaiser. Ross Kaiser's going to have to show up now and prove you wrong. All right. The last pick. Who do I have winning tonight?
I think you went with Chris. I think you're trying to go for the youngest ever.
Same here. I think you got Ryan.
Oh, yes, I do. I've got Ryan Avila right there winning it again tonight. And I was looking at his lap times. They look good. There towards the end, he was getting into the wall. I'm a little nervous about that as the race will be longer. I'm hoping that he can hold on to it and be the youngest king that we've crowned. I'm picking Ryan Avila as my number 1 tonight. Oh, it's time, guys. The time has come. The 4th king will be crowned tonight. It's crazy that we've made it this far. We've had 4 big-time, or I should say 3 big-time races of the Kings of Millertime. This is the 4th big-time race. I remember when Chris first started the league, he didn't ever want to do a money race. Here we are. We're doing some money races. And this is the biggest that we've ever had. The Kings of Millertime. The 4th awaits. Before we sign off, I want to give you guys the last opportunity to say what you need. Byron?
Well, as I'm now getting a little fun from the boys at Millertime, keep an eye out for them tonight. I think you'll see a number 5 car, number 39 car, and 84 car coming at you pretty quick tonight.
Chris?
Well, hey, I just want to go out and say it's been a great season. We finished the point series last night with Kenny Hoffman winning, and then Ryan Avila today, and now we're at our 4th running of the Kings of Millertime. We lost the broadcast there. You were busy, Ryan. You had a lot going on, so I understand that. We're glad to have you back for this weekend. I do want to say that we don't have anything right now planned for another season. We are going to take the holidays off. We're going to get into the next year of 2023, and we'll reevaluate. But I know as a group of guys, we're all wanting a little bit of time off. We're probably going to take at least early spring off and get into middle of next year before we have another season. But it's been great, and we will definitely reach out to all the drivers if we decide to have another season, or when we decide to have another season. And this has been the best season that we've ever had, and I just want to thank everybody that's been a part of it.
Very well said. And from Dirt Eye TV, myself and everyone, thank you for tuning in for this episodes of the Big Three at the Big E this weekend. We're not done yet. We're heading out to Eldora Speedway. Catch us here in, let's say about 20-25 minutes from now. We'll be live for you guys. So good luck to all the drivers out there, all the fans. Tune in to Dirt Eye TV on YouTube. So long.